everybody. So today we are here for the next entry in my top 50 animated films countdown. We've already done 50 to 41, and then we did 40 to 31, and now we're doing 21 to 30. And all of these movies are movies that I adore and love, especially if they made the top 30. This is movies that I could watch over and over again, and it was a tough decision making this list. So if something's not as high as you expect, it was really hard. So let's talk about these movies. At number 30, we have Princess Mononoke. This is from Studio Ghibli, and this is such an epic environmental fable about this forest that has these spirits in the forest, and there's this curse that is going across the land because the people aren't using the forest well. They're removing it and not replanting it, and it's causing the forest to die. And there is a girl named San who is basically like the princess of the forest, and a boy named Ashitaka, and they form this bond that helps them fight off the demons and restore the forest. This movie is bloody, it is brutal, it is epic. It's like almost no other animated film. The animation is incredible from Hayao Miyazaki. It has a lot to say, but it's managed to be less sort of treacly than a lot of these environmental movies from the 90s were. He manages to have his message, but still have good characters and a good story. It's a movie that I could watch over and over again and still get new things from it each time. It's very layered. There's lots of story going on here. And I think it's one of the best fantasy films ever made, in my opinion. So that came in at number 30. Number 29, I have Arthur Christmas. I love Christmas, of course. And so I was bound to enjoy this film, but I really do love it. I like the fact that Arthur's brother, the military man, he isn't trying to be a villain. The way he sees it, he is trying to do things more orderly, and but Arthur can see that it loses the heart, and once you start to ignore one kid missing their Christmas and not take that into account, then it starts to lose its power and its magic. And I love James McAvoy as Arthur in this. I think he's so great. All the voice work is really wonderful. The animation from Aardman is really wonderful. It's a great Christmas message, and a reminder to never discount the one. To never just, oh, well, there's only one. I think that's the power of the movie. And it's also funny and sweet. So it had to come in at number 29. Number 28 is How to Train Your Dragon. And the first one is my favorite of the three. You could just put all three if you want. I really enjoyed all three, but I think the first one is the best. The relationship between Toothless and Hiccup is really sweet and wonderful. The dynamic between he and his father is really good as well. And it's beautifully animated. I love the flying scenes, especially in all three of these movies. I think are just jaw-dropping, gorgeous, really wonderful. And this is almost the best DreamWorks films that they've ever made. I have one higher. But yeah, I love How to Train Your Dragon. I think it's a really good movie. Number 27, I have definitely an underrated film. It is Cats Don't Dance. This is directed by Mark Dindal, and I think it is way underappreciated. I love the songs. The musical sequences are so well done. The animation is great. It's the classic story of your young kid from the small town who wants to make it in Hollywood, and there's song and dance all along the way. And then you have Darla, who's the child star, who is wicked behind the scenes. She looks all sweet, and she's really not. And she develops a grudge against Danny, and she wants to stop him from being successful. And it's very over the top in the physical comedy. It's definitely feeling off of some of the Looney Tunes and some of those kinds of things. But I just love it. I think it is so great. I love the musical numbers, especially, I think are just incredibly animated, incredibly done. And it's definitely probably the most underrated film on this list. At number 26, I have Batman Mask of the Phantasm. And this movie, I love the animated series. I think it is the best Batman that we've ever seen and ever will see in that animated series. I love the animation in this movie along with the series. The way it uses shadow and light and color, I think is really great. And I love Shirley Jackson's score. I think it's so good at creating tone and feel. And you actually get to know Bruce as a character in this movie. He makes choices and we get to understand him, whereas in most Batman movies the villains are more interesting than Bruce slash Batman himself, and that's not the case here. The whole story with him having to decide, is he going to be with Andrea Beaumont, what is he willing to sacrifice, and he has this great conversation with Alfred where he talks about he's walking the line between good and evil and he doesn't know where it's going to go, and that's just great. And I think it's one of the best superhero movies ever made. So then at number 25, I have Chicken Run, another Aardman for this part of the list. This is my favorite film from Aardman. I really do love Wallace and Gromit, but it couldn't quite make the list. Chicken Run, I love Mama Tweety. I think is really a fun, over-the-top villain. I love the whole sort of prison escape movie setup that they have, and the characters, like, I don't want to be a pie and stuff like that, and all the humor. And I love the stop motion animation. They're masters at that. And this is just one I frequently like to put on and just laugh and enjoy the animation and the voice work and the really well done story. So the action is very well done. I think they do a great job. So it had to be number 25. Number 24, I have Coraline. And this is another stop motion animated from Laika. And this is definitely one of the scariest, most horror-filled animated films that I've ever seen. But I really love that Coraline has to decide whether she is going to stay with these people that are giving her this kind of perfect life, or she's going to fight for her parents who are kind of terrible. And she makes the hard decision at the end because she knows what's real. And just that whole journey for her character, I think, is really good. And she's a very dynamic, interesting character. And I love the animation. It's so trippy and crazy, but I really enjoy it. And so, yeah, it came in at number 24. Number 23 is Klaus. And this is one of the most recent entries in this countdown. I didn't do anything from the last year because I just felt like it needs more time to sit with me. But I did do Klaus, and I love this movie. Of course, I love Christmas movies, The Origin of Santa. I love the animation. I think it's so beautiful. It has this it was just so refreshing to see this 2D animation the way it is. You get to see the people as they start to become educated and see things from the other's point of view. That not only are they changed from the inside, but also the whole lighting and style of the movie changes bit by bit. And you get to see them start to come alive after they had been in such a bitter spot for so long. And I think it's really funny. I think that it's really heartwarming. And I love the idea of Santa as this sort of grieving widower and how he's able to come alive through giving to others. So it's just a really nice message and a beautiful movie. And it's Christmas. I love it, right? And speaking of Christmas, number 22 is The Nightmare Before Christmas. And I guess this is technically Laika, but it was before they actually officially became Laika. And this is, of course, we all know the film. The thing I like about this movie is that Jack tries to be something that he's not. And when you're trying to be something that you're not, it's just so painful. It's not a good experience. And he sees what other people have and he wants to have it. So he tries to duplicate it instead of valuing what he is. Being the Pumpkin King is who Jack is. And so when he's trying to be Santa, he's trying to be somebody other than what he is. And that's just death to a character. It's so hard. And Sally can see that, and she watches him. and you can see that. And I think that's really where the heart of the movie is. Of course, you've got the incredible animation and the great songs by Danny Elfman, and I think really beautiful singing that Danny Elfman does. I think it's a little bit underpraised, that part of it. I love the singing and the music in this movie. It's nice to have something that's kind of half Halloween, half Christmas, and they give that to you here. I would say that it's probably more a Halloween movie than a Christmas movie, but it definitely counts as a Christmas movie too. So it ended up at number 22. Number 21 is The Lion King. And I know a lot of people would have that in their top 10. It's pretty close for me. I really love The Lion King. I think it's so moving, the journey of Simba as he realizes that he needs to care for more than just himself, and that he has a role to play, and that he has to go back and he has to forgive his father for dying. And I love the whole scene. You promised you'd always be there, but you're not. And that whole scene is so moving and so well done. And I think Scar's a really delicious villain. He's really a total sociopath and great. I mean, the wildebeest scene, is the stampede, is so incredible. The animation is just great. My only real flaw with the movie is I don't really like how they turned "Can You Feel the Love Tonight" into a joke. I don't really like that. But for the most part, I really enjoy the songs. I really enjoy the story, the animation. It's one of Disney's best. So it had to come in at number 21. So there you go. That is my 21 through 30 of my favorite animated films of all time. 21, Lion King; 22, The Night Before Christmas; 23, Claws; 24, Coraline; 25, Chicken Run; 26, Batman Mask of the Phantasm; 27, Cats Don't Dance; 28, How to Train Your Dragon; 29, Arthur Christmas; and 30 is Princess Mononoke. So that is a great list, I think. Those are some really wonderful movies. Let me know what you think, and where would you have these? Are you shocked? Are you surprised? Where would you have these in your ranking? So let me know, and please like this video. Please subscribe to my channel. Please consider becoming a patron. We really appreciate that so much. We also have our merch store, which has hashtag Animation Junkie shirts, so check that out. And thanks again, and we'll talk to you all later. Bye, everyone.